Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Cosmic Verse. Men are avoiding single mothers and the single mothers are outraged as men aren't dating them anymore. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's jump right into it.
Okay, this is your sign. If you know a single mom, like, just send her a message and just tell her like something nice, okay? Because it is rough out here, okay? It is really, really rough out here. And there are days where you just feel so defeated, so alone, and just don't know like what to do or like where to turn to. And like, mind you, it's not all days, but like today is one of those days, y'all.
I know it's not the case for every single mother, but for a lot of these single mothers, they bring all of this sadness on themselves, and then they turn around and ask for validation every time their feelings are a little bit blue.
I just think it's insane to think that a pandemic postponed my wedding. What are the odds? Like, I'm not dating anyone, but this for sure pushed it back.
All right, I'm gonna get straight to this. I want a partner. I want to find a husband. I want to find a partner. I am ready. I've prayed on it, and I've done all the work, all the self-growth.
Nothing shows that you've done the work quite like going on TikTok and making multiple statements with the phrase, "I want." It's a clear sign that she has done zero work, has no intention of doing any form of self-growth, and she's just looking for a man to pay for her and her children.
I have invested in myself to become the best woman, the best version, the best partner, the best future wife. And the problem now is, where are those men? Right? Can't find them on social media. I mean, some women do. I have not. Dating apps are terrible. I go to church, but I don't meet no one at church. I work from home, so I don't step out a lot. Where are they? Are they in the US? Are they in another country?
The odds of finding a good man at church have gone down drastically, especially when modern women go to churches and lie to men just to trick them into marriage.
What do we do? Us women that are ready. We're ready to commit. I've done the job. I'm just waiting up. And it sucks. And I know other girls feel this.
We are not looking anymore. We're here just done with dating period. But good luck, he's out there somewhere. We are overseas, where women are traditional, with all jokes aside. Most men are happy with just being alone. Way too much drama with women these days.
I find it humorous that this woman says that she's finally ready to settle down, as if she expected us to just sit around and wait for her to pretend to figure out her crap. She cannot fathom men just walking away and being done with it all.
It's amusing, really, because many of these women in their 30s act like they're doing men a favor by finally being ready to settle down. Where was this energy in their 20s when they had all the time in the world? What's even funnier is how some of them genuinely think they deserve applause for realizing that casual flings and finding themselves don't compare to the stability and partnership they turned down earlier.
These women don't realize how great of an insult it is to hear that they are finally ready for us dudes after ignoring us and treating us like subhuman freaks for over 10 years. They honestly think we'll just turn around and welcome them with open arms just because they say that they are finally ready.
The reality is, men are more aware than ever. They see through this desperation disguised as newfound commitment. It's not about finding love or a partner anymore. For many, it's about not wanting to face the consequences of their earlier choices alone. Many women are announcing that they've done the self-work, like this woman has, or that they're finally ready for a husband.
Neither of those statements are true. Whenever a modern woman says that she's done the work, it usually means she read half a self-help book and relentlessly complains to a therapist twice a month. She hasn't done any form of growth or any work whatsoever.
Like, okay, congratulations on no longer being for the streets. Honestly, it's like expecting a gold medal for cleaning up the mess you made of your own life.
TikTok, you are the gift that keeps on giving. You turned my world upside down yesterday. I'm still completely floored by the responses that I got, and I now know that a man does not feel intimidated by a woman approaching them. He's flattered by it and in fact encourages it. So ladies, shoot your shot.
Men have been telling women this little factoid for years, if not decades, and yet these women will always think it's some sort of an epic revelation when they realize that they're going to have to approach and actually shoot their own shot.
And let's keep this trend going, okay? I would like to know more. Guys, leave me 1 comment, 2 comments, 3 comments, because you know I read them all. Let me know what you think women should know that perhaps they don't. Give us a clue, because why not make it easier for all of us across the board, right? Let me know. Make it a great day.
Okay, who's looking for a single mom with 3 kids who takes care of all of her own shit? Just a lover girl by heart, likes to be sarcastic, you know, homebody.
The answer to that question is simple, and the answer is simps. Simps are willing to do all of that. The men you can't bring yourself to love, respect, or even tolerate are the only ones who are willing to pretend to be fine with taking care of your children, madam.
Someone who just likes to like chill out most of the time, get really laugh, watch TikTok videos. Who's looking for that? I mean, I don't wear sweatshirts all the time at home, guys.
Nobody.
I stopped listening at single mom. I've looked in the comments, and it's interesting. Some men were actually open to the idea, right up until she mentioned she has 3 kids. Heck, most men wouldn't even consider dating a woman with 1 child, let alone 3.
It's a raw deal to want to date a single mother. At some point, usually sooner rather than later, that mother is going to expect that man to step up and provide for her kids and her financially. It's an unfair demand, and yet these women find it incredibly reasonable, apparently.
That's why I strongly believe single mothers should be dating single fathers. It just makes more sense, because dating for women with children is already hard enough. But it always raises a question that's impossible to ignore. If she has all these amazing qualities she mentioned, why is she single? Why didn't a man take her seriously when she was with him? It's not about bashing anyone, but it's a logical point that men think about.
Single mothers love to sell themselves up as these, down-to-earth, awesome people. And yet, if they're that awesome, then why are they single? If a man is with a good woman, he will stick through her thick and thin unless she divorces him for child support and alimony.
If she's as great as she claims, where's the track record of men stepping up to commit to her? The truth is, many men view this situation as high risk. They're not just dating the woman. They're potentially stepping into a parental role for children that aren't theirs.
I'm sure I'm not the only one out here who is experiencing this. Apparently, the world cannot handle me as a single woman. I can't just be single. They have to connect me with somebody. I can't sit somewhere with someone who is a male.
These women think they're so important that some higher power like the world, the universe, or whatever has nothing better to do than to torment them specifically with being single. Most people couldn't care less about such things.
And not expect to hear that I am dating them, sleeping with them, fooling around with them, whatever. Actually, I wish I was doing half the things that I've heard that I am doing. A lot more fun.
We gotta talk about this idea that if men open up to women, that women will use it against them. That is abuse. That has nothing to do with being vulnerable. If somebody is taking where you expressed emotion or your feelings, and someone takes that and throws it back in your face, whether it be an argument, being sarcastic, putting you down, or criticizing you.
Nobody's arguing that kind of behavior is abusive. It totally is. The point is that it's becoming all too common for women to demand that men open up to them, and once he does, she loses all respect for him and will resort only to using their insecurities as ammo against him for any grievance of any kind.
It has nothing to do with men opening up and being vulnerable. That is abuse. It goes both ways for women too.
That idea is absolutely true. In some cases, when men open up to their wives instead of being met with understanding and support, their vulnerability gets weaponized against them. It's one of the main reasons many men choose to keep their emotions bottled up. They fear that sharing their struggles or insecurities will later be used as ammunition in arguments or to undermine their masculinity.
Unfortunately, it's all a game to a lot of modern women. They legitimately see nothing wrong with emasculating men and using their emotions against them. They play with men's emotions with such recklessness, then they act shocked when the men want nothing to do with them.
There are many personal discussions where men state that their wives laughs at them when they open up. So once again, that idea is absolutely true.
What is like dating as a single mom part 2? So yeah, like I said, a lot of men jump into this with the idea that like I'm looking for someone to play daddy. I personally am not. My child has a father and he does his thing. She doesn't need a second father. No, I'm good off of that. What I personally am looking for is a partnership, and a lot of men get that confused.
Whenever these single mothers bring up the idea of wanting a partnership, you can bet that money is going to be a part of that discussion. And even though that daughter may or may not have a father in her life, you'll still be expected to pay for her daughter, as well as her bills and upkeep.
I think some men are intimidated by single moms because like most of the time you have your shit together. Some of us don't, but most of us do. You're very mature, like you have like, I'm very much about like, I take care of my kid by myself. Like I don't have a lot of family help, none of that. So like full blown adult taking care of a kid. You can't just hit me up for a sneaky link. You can't just invite me out on a date tomorrow asking me today. Like I need a plan, like I need structure because I have a kid that needs a babysitter. I personally don't introduce the fact that I have a child to everybody either.
If you are a single mother, you are under every obligation to disclose that up front to a man who's interested in taking you out on a date. By not telling him, you are lying by omission and manipulating him by keeping that information to yourself.
Everybody needs to know that. That's my business. That's not your business. And if we're just dating casually, like, and especially if I don't see this going beyond just like 1 or 2 dates, like that's a waste of time. Not doing it. Like for part 3.
Intimidated by what exactly? Let's be real. It's not intimidation, it's practicality. A lot of men see single mums and decide that's just not the route they want to take. And honestly, it's a smart financial decision.
What these women fail to realize is how condescending they sound when they accuse men of being intimidated by them being single mothers. It's not only rude, but it also shows what kind of person this single mother truly is. That one statement speaks volumes that her word salad doesn't.
It's not about fear or insecurity, as this woman just claimed. It's about looking at the bigger picture. Men aren't intimidated by single moms. They're just being logical. They know that their resources, time and energy will be divided, and for many, that's not the type of relationship they envision for themselves. It's not about being cruel or dismissive. It's about choosing what aligns with their long-term goals and values.
There's also the kids to take into account. What if the guy ends up bonding with the child only for his mother to turn around and break up with him the second a guy with more money enters the picture? That kind of behavior can have severe damage on that kid.
Let's not forget the baggage that often comes with the situation. Co-parenting dynamics, the involvement of an ex-partner, and the potential for drama can make the relationship feel more like a challenge than a partnership.
Another data that's deeply concerning when you look at from 1940, the percentage of kids that were born to a single mother in 1940 was 4%. 1940, 4%.
There's something to be said about families that hold traditional values when it comes to raising children. Nobody is saying that the system is perfect, but more often than not, a kid does better in life when the father is active and actually in the picture.
That means 96% of kids that were born in 1940 were born in a household of a mom and a dad. In today, we went from 4% in 1940 to 40% today. Whoa. That's 10x, a data we do not want to be bragging about. By the way, worldwide, we're the worst when you look at data. China, India, they keep it together. We don't keep it together. Middle Easterns, they keep it together. Muslims keep it together. But in America, we've gone a completely different way.
It's so funny, guys, how society demands that we celebrate single mothers for being strong and brave, yet at the same time, we keep seeing the statistics get worse and worse. Meanwhile, the men who want to do right by their kids are demonized for not being good enough. It makes absolutely no sense.
Welcome to my TED Talk. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I came on here. Yes, I have a broken nail. If you saw that. No, you didn't. Because I just wanted to state the obvious that the dating world is absolutely fucking trash. I've always been a single mom. That's nothing new. I've always taken care of my kids. But I've been single for 6 months.
Whenever these women do a dating PSA or some kind of an advice video, it's really just an excuse for them to endlessly complain. She throws on 3 inches of makeup, applies no less than, 4 camera filters, not to mention those needlessly long nails, just to complain about why guys don't want her.
And in that time period, have I ran across some fucking jokes. Like, y'all really be funny out here. If a single full-time mom gives you her time of day, do not come in her world and fucking cause chaos. Like, do yourself a favor and walk the fuck out as quickly as you walk the fuck in. Like, and don't hit me with questions like, how are you going to make time for me? Sir, after that comment, I'm not. You won't get a response from me because you're not going to make me feel like I have to compete with my children and you.
It's rather disturbing to see this woman use her children as an excuse for a guy after asking a legitimate question. It really just does go to show that she doesn't actually care nearly as much for her flesh and blood, so much she does about her image.
Yeah, have a good day.
Well, that is a very valid question to ask, especially when dating a single mother who might be busy all the time. Dating someone who's juggling kids, work, and other responsibilities can make it challenging to build a meaningful connection. If she's constantly busy and doesn't have the time or energy to truly get to know the guy she's dating, then it raises the question of whether she's in the right place to be dating at all.
Modern single mothers are rarely ready for dating. They want to find a man to take care of her and pay his way into her heart, but she's willing to provide absolutely nothing to that man except more burdens.
What it seems to me is that this woman shouldn't be dating at the moment. If she can't invest the necessary time to nurture a relationship, she's essentially setting both herself and the guy up for frustration. It's not just about availability, it's about priorities. If her current priority is her kids, and her life is too hectic to focus on a partner, then it's better to take a step back and wait until she can give the relationship the attention it deserves.
Practicality will always take a backseat to a modern single mother's desire for attention. She will never be able to take a step back. Doing so would require her to step away from the camera, and she's too addicted to the attention to care.
Entering the dating scene without the capacity to fully engage only wastes time for both parties involved.
At some point, you're going to want a man to take you serious. Yeah. And how many kids are you going to want him to take you serious with? I got 3. It's hard out here with 3 kids trying to find a man that want to with you.
I don't think men can take single mothers seriously, especially when she's made it clear that her kids will ultimately become your problem. And yet they're always shocked when men don't agree to take the short end of a bum deal.
You get what I'm saying? You got no kids, you can't find a man really want to fuck with you. Not me having 3 kids. A man trying to find a man to fuck with me. You get what I'm saying?
So my friend, like, she has 2 kids. Both are like teenagers now, and like the thing that I don't like is like when she dates guys and then they fall out or something, they'll be like, out of here, I be feeding you and your kids. Like, they be trying to throw it back in their face, and it's like, that's why I can only imagine how hard it is being a single mom.
It's not even like, it is throw it back in your face, but it's like I said, expectations and it's the reality of the situation.
The reality of the situation is that those men were tired of being forced to take on the financial responsibilities of a father without any of the respect, and yet these women just expect these guys to step up without question.
Because the reality is, I could go deal with a woman that don't have no kids. So I chose you 100%. And your kids. You need to be appreciative of that shit, because it's not easy for a man to look at some kids that's not his and be like, you know what? I'm gonna do that for these kids.
I'm a woman, so you're telling me something that I'm telling you is not true. I look at myself as an alpha female. The reason I'm not bigger, I'm not stronger. Lord knows I can't wait till an alpha male comes in my life and takes over.
What these so-called quote-unquote alpha females will never understand is that men don't want masculine women. They're not feminine, they're hard-headed, and they're incapable of providing any peace to a man. The kinds of men she desires have better options than to settle for her and her entitlement.
I'm an alpha female because I am the head of my household. So how a man would be a head of his household and run things, I have to do that until a man comes in and does that. Yes, I am an alpha. The bills are paid by me. My kids are taken care of by me. I run everything that goes on in my life and my children's life to a T. Nothing does not move unless it moves through me. I'm an alpha female. I'm in the working field. I'm competitively in the working field.
Let me ask you a question.
It's funny, guys, because whenever a man manages a household, he pays the bills, he takes the reins to lead the household, he's either labeled as toxic or doing less than the bare minimum. But when a single mother does the exact same thing, she's worthy of praise and is expecting a medal to come in the mail for her.
I'm not beneath any.
Ma'am, just because you're paying bills and taking care of your business doesn't make you an alpha. It makes you an adult. Handling responsibilities like work, bills, and daily life is the bare minimum of functioning as an independent person, not some badge of superiority. Honestly, I don't know what kind of man you're hoping to attract or step into your life when you're running around calling yourself an alpha female.
We can all picture the kind of man she desires. It's the kind of man that only exists in poorly written romance novels, but those men do not exist. And even if they did, they would never settle for a woman like this who thinks that doing basic adult tasks makes her worthy of global admiration.
Most men aren't looking for someone to compete with. They're looking for someone to complement them. When a woman brands herself as an alpha, it often comes off as aggressive, combative, and overly self-centered. And she demonstrates that perfectly. Men don't want to feel like they're entering a power struggle when dating someone. They want peace, partnership, and mutual respect.
And when a man says those things are what he wants, he's automatically labeled as either hateful, entitled, or weak. These women expect men to be perfect while she does absolutely nothing. It's not a deal that makes any sense to a self-respecting man.
And let's be real, constantly emphasizing your alpha status can be a major turnoff. It screams, I don't need a man, but I want one to fill some space in my life.
Here are things that are deal breakers for men dating single moms. Many men won't even date single moms because they've experienced some of these things more than once. So what are they? Let's get into it. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what I know.
What's amazing is how men have been incredibly vocal about what they're looking for in a woman, and that includes their opinions on single mothers. And yet single mothers get offended at the comments and wait for the dating coaches to tell her things that she wants to hear.
And I know that men are turned off by these things when it comes to dating single women. One, women who say that their child is their whole world. Do not say this. Your child is not your whole world. Your child is a huge part of your world, but I would hope that your world has much more going on in it than your kid and your motherly duties. While they are important, and I, for one, am grateful to all the great moms out there raising kids, you need to be able to care for yourself and put yourself at a high priority.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with a mother dedicating her time to her child, but there's a fine line between wanting the best for your child and rubbing that child in that man's face and constantly reminding them that they will never hold any significant importance in her life.
So that you can be fulfilled and you can bring a fulfilled self not only to your child, but to a man in a relationship. That is a red flag. The other red flag is when you're on a date with your person and phone is constantly going off and you're half listening to what he's saying but looking to see what Brittany, Trevor, and Emily are doing at home. If you hire a sitter, let the sitter handle everything. That's why you hired a sitter. Or you left them with grandma, grandpa, whatever the deal is. Like,
these women will endlessly complain about the expense of babysitters, and they'll always expect the man to pay for those things, which is a major turnoff for men as well, by the way.
Leave the child to be okay with whomever is watching them. Not everything is an emergency. The whole world is not going to collapse because you went on a date. The third thing that people can't stand about single mothers is this last minute cancellation thing because, Sabrina has a toothache or a sore throat and now all of a sudden at the last minute you need to cancel a date. That's not going to fly. So handle your shit. Learn how to date if you're a single mom.
Canceling a date last minute is annoying for any man, regardless of whether or not the woman in question is a single mother. It's bad manners regardless.
Teach single moms how to date effectively, appropriately, and with power, purpose, clarity, empowerment, so that they can attract the best possible person for them.
I've got to say, these are pretty valid points. especially the one about men who have dated single mothers and won't do it again. A lot of the time, the reason these men avoid going down that path is because of how they were treated in those relationships. They often felt like they were at the bottom of the priority list.
Single mothers love to treat the men they want to date like second-class citizens, and the second a man brings that up, she'll use her child as the ultimate excuse to condemn the dude.
Like they were put at number 3, or worse, even further down. Think about it. When a man invests his time, energy, and emotions into a relationship, he wants to feel valued and appreciated. But in these situations, he's frequently competing for attention and importance with the kids, the ex, and everything else going on in her life. While it's understandable that her children come first, no one wants to feel like an afterthought all the time.
It's just not worth it for the majority of men out there. Dating a single mother isn't worth the physical or mental headache, and they've just had enough of it all. But anyway, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.